I'm here with my friend Tatyana. She used to be my student, and I guess I was looked at maybe as sort of like an adult figure in her life, so maybe she wouldn't have called me friend before, but she's my friend now. Right, I think I was Miss Cinnamon, and but she's my friend now because she's an adult, and you don't have to call me Miss Cinnamon anymore. I didn't want you to call me Miss Cinnamon before because I wasn't old. It's just that I was in a position of authority, and it is a respectful thing. I get it.
Oh man, you're gonna break me today and make you call you Cinnamon today.
Please, just Cinnamon, and yeah, that would be great. So I wanted to meet with her because Tatyana was one of my first students when I had CRL Studios, which wasn't CRL Studios then. It was called Cinetap Music. And she was one of my first students. My very first student was Heather Powell, and then came along some other students, including Tatyana and some others, and boy, we had a great time for a couple of years together doing music. And I ran across a video that she did, now that she's all growned it up, I ran across a video that she did, and I couldn't believe my ears. And I have some questions for her. When Tatyana was with me, she was as scared could be to be on that stage. And when I saw this video of you a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was done a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't believe, number one, what I was hearing in your voice, and number two, that you were doing it like on a video for everybody to see, and you weren't crying.
I know. I look at pictures from like my first concert. I think I was singing His Eyes on the Sparrow. You were playing the piano right in front of the stage, and my shoulders are like this the whole time.
Yes, because you were afraid.
I was so scared, and I cried through the whole song.
You did, you cried. She cried through the whole song. So talk to me about some of those fears then, and then we're going to talk about how you overcame them and what that journey has been like, because I know that performance is a journey, and you're terrified in the beginning, but the more you do it, the better it gets and the easier it becomes. So tell me about some of those fears in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning, I just didn't like being in front of people, period. Like, it was just a sense of, like, judgment almost from people. You know, like, you don't, if you mess up, like, they see it, like, you're in front of them. And then I wasn't very confident in my voice back then. Even now, I still kind of struggle with, like, what it's like, but even then it was new for me. Like, you were the first person to make me go on stage and sing.
Yeah, so because I'll do that. I'll be like, no, you get up there.
Right. And so it's like, otherwise I would just kind of like sing for my friends or sing at home. I think I sang in front of you in our living room one time. That was another, like, one of my first times like singing in front of people. And yeah, I think that from then you're like, oh yeah, you're gonna sing on stage. And I was like, no, wait. I'm just kidding, I take it back. So just not being sure like how it's coming off and everything. So all of the fears and like the anxiety of the moment just is too overwhelming that I just burst into tears.
Yeah. And I remember those moments, and I remember trying to be as close to you as possible.
And you're like, I'm gonna be right here, and I'm like, it's still your job.
Yes. I remember trying to be so close to you because I wanted you to feel a sense of security. Because being on stage is a scary thing. So you went from those moments, and you cried multiple times on my platform.
I know.
Multiple times. But you know what?
Like 3 times.
You cried and you did it, which is so awesome. It's such a life lesson to cry and to keep moving. And that's what people miss, that it doesn't have to be performance, it could be anything in life that you're scared of, but if you just face it, you can cry while you walk. You just cry and keep going.
Right.
You know, and so now you cried multiple times, which means multiple years, guys, because we had benefit concerts many times.
They made me play piano on stage and sing at the same time.
That's right. I was trying to push you forward, but I didn't know that you would develop into the brave girl that you are today. And I know bravery is a journey too, so you'll have some other situations that will cause you to have to reach down into your bravery box and slap on some armor and go.
It's just like different levels that you have to be brave for. So like the things that I was probably scared of doing now is not a big deal now, but there's something else that's a bigger deal now. So I have to just keep like doing that. I think that's what got me through my stages of like crying, where I would still sing because I knew that in the end I'm gonna grow and this is gonna be good for me, but this still sucks right now. So I'm still gonna be upset because this is hard, but I'm not gonna not do it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's even how I am now, where it's like I'm still terrified, but I'm not gonna not do it because I will grow through it.
Sure.
Through the experience. So
Sure. I just love it. Okay, so now fast forward. You've grown. I know you got some more growing later, but right now you've grown.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Like, was there a moment, a pivotal moment where you were like, I got this, or was it just sort of a progression of just keep doing it and you just got a little bit braver each time? Did you ever feel like, no, I got this?
Not really. No. It's just more of a sense of I don't know, just putting myself out there, especially for videos. I found that like I would put it out there and I would be scared. I'd be like hovering over the post button, like maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should record it like 10 more times. And I'm like, and then like sometimes I legit close my eyes and press the button because it's just done after that point.
Yeah.
And I would get like positive feedback on it, and I'm like, are they not hearing what I'm hearing? Like, how do they not hear all my mess ups and all the imperfections in it? And then I was like, okay, maybe I should just like try again. Like maybe, you know, it's not as bad as I think it is. And then like after that point, it was like, I think I've just created like a perspective that's negative. Like that's like the one
you
I
have created
it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes, that's so good.
Yeah.
So you realized that you had sort of created a not so positive idea about yourself.
So that I expect that everyone else is hearing that.
Oh, that's a good life lesson. Oh, that's a good life lesson.
And so once I started seeing
self-image that was broken.
Yeah, and so when I started letting other people's perspectives go in, like the positive ones, I was like, wait, that's what they're hearing? So I don't know, I had to just like shift my thinking.
Sure.
And so even though I still can be a critic sometimes, I step back and I'm like, all right, let me look at it differently. So.
Wow, that's really good. Okay, so have you ever done live?
Like a live video?
Yeah.
No, I've thought about it, but I haven't done it yet. That's like the next step.
Because you get to go back to these videos that are done and then edit them how you want to edit them.
And I can watch
maybe
them
do it
over and
again if you want to do it again. So maybe the next step in Bravery is this live thing, which is just as nerve-wracking as that platform all those years back.
I know. It's basically the same. But like, I guess it's a little different because you can get like immediate feedback from people like right in front of you and you can see them. And the video and doing a live video, like I guess just in a way, like if I mess up or something, there's no like cut and start over.
Right.
Or I can do that note a little better. Let me practice that a few times and then record again.
Yeah.
But I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about pulling out my piano and like playing the stuff that I've been working on and doing it with that too, but like also the fear of like hitting the wrong key, and it's like obvious. So.
Yeah, because you can't rewind, you can't edit out a live video. Yeah, so it definitely is nerve-wracking. It'll be a different level of bravery to try and do that. I think you should definitely try to do that, but it will not be any less nerve-wracking. I have students now that are just beginning, and I wondered if you had some advice for them. Some of them might not be sure if music is what they want to do. They're dipping and dabbing, you know, trying to figure it out.
I get that, same.
Yeah, some of them have talent that still needs to be developed. Some of them have a lot of talent that just needs to be guided. They're all on different levels, but I wondered what advice you would give to them. You could give it separately to the ones that maybe still need to do some developing, and then maybe the ones that have the talent but need to be guided. What advice would you give them about this musical journey? And is it just about the musical journey, the advice, or maybe it's just about the life journey?
It's about the life journey. I mean, for myself, I'm not really sure what I want to do with music other than just knowing that it's in me and I can't not do anything with it. But just a matter of, you have to just keep pushing your limits, and that's really it.
That's good.
You have to push your limits, and So when I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm not crying on stage anymore, so what's the next step? And so it's like, all right, I need to feel more confident in maybe relaxing. Okay, that's the next step. So like constantly taking your next step and figuring out where do I need to challenge myself next.
Right.
There's a big picture that you probably want to be at as a musician, but like each little step kind of gets you there.
Yeah.
So
do you ever look at like other maybe like an Alicia Keys or other people that you idolize and think, I want to be that, and boy, I got a long way to go before I get there. And does it hinder you? Does it make you feel, how does it make you feel? Do you have that idol, I guess is my first question, and then how does that reflect back to Tatyana?
Yeah. So before I would look at people like Jennifer Hudson, for example, and be like, oh my gosh, I have to just work harder and then I can get to that point.
Right.
But then there's like technical things in terms of like range is different, and I'm sure training's different and what she's done. And so just realizing that I don't have to be Jennifer Hudson, like what is my version of great?
Sure.
And so
come on, bro. Okay. What is my version of great? You hear that? What is my version of great? It's a grown-up Tatyana. I love it. I love it.
And so that's kind of where my mindset, where I would still compare myself. Even now, I'll watch kids, like even kids that are younger than me, and I'm like, how are you guys singing these big songs? And like just getting myself up there can sometimes be a struggle.
Right.
And just realizing that there's so many different variations of our voices and variations of our musical levels that we don't have to all sound the same. So
that is exactly right.
That's what makes us all beautiful and different and unique, that we all have different ranges. So it's like, how can I work on what I have to make it great?
That's right. I have to tell you a secret about music. There's not a lot of like musical keys, like let's say the key of C, the key of D, the key of E. You know, the piano's only so big. There are 88 keys on a piano, and that's all you're gonna get. So 88 keys multiplied by millions and billions of people. The question is, how much music can millions and billions of people make out of 88 keys?
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily about the music and how and whether you sing a C or sing a D or sing an E, but it's about how you put it together and the timbre. It's like putting a puzzle piece together, because there's only 88 pieces to the puzzle. And so it's about how you make it, and that's what makes it so special, because each individual, once they insert their individuality into music, it makes it different. But truly, they're singing some of the same 88 keys that somebody else sang yesterday. But it's about how you are interpreting it and how it's coming out of you. There's something called timbre in music, and each instrument, you know, a violin could play a C, the very same C as a piano, and it will sound different because it's a different instrument. And so for as many of us that there are on the earth, vocalists, let's say, you could sing a C and it'll sound different from the way I sing a C, because each of us were gifted with our own timbre, our own the way our voices create that sound, and that's a God-given gift. So that should encourage anybody to still sing, even if they hear a Jennifer Hudson sing it this way. You could still sing the same notes out of those 88 keys that she sang. It's going to sound different because you're Tatyana. And that's the beauty of music. That's the beauty of music. And it's just really good. I mean, so for the kids like striving to maybe go further in music, what would your advice be? So expand, or what did you say earlier? Like go beyond the limits?
Push yourself beyond
Push beyond the limits. Okay. All right.
Yes. I mean, don't stop. I mean, the thing is, not everyone can do what we can do sometimes, you know, like, and it's just a sense of how can you refine it, I guess. Like, just to spend that time constantly refining it and pushing yourself, because it's a gift. It really is a gift that we should use.
Yeah.
In any way we can.
In any way we can. So let me ask you about dance. So Tatyana is a phenomenal dancer as well, but I don't remember you ever crying on the platform when you had to dance. Did you ever cry?
Have I ever cried? I don't think I've cried for performing. I'd feel really nervous, and I've cried mostly out of like emotion though.
Okay.
So it's like a different kind, but I don't know. I guess dancing, it was different. I think.
And that's what I want to know. Why was it different?
Maybe in a sense though, it's like you get to become the music in a different way. Like when you're singing, I feel like it's just me being raw kind of, and even though dancing can be raw, it's like I kind of can be a character with it, so I don't have to feel like myself in a moment.
So you get to kind of step out of yourself
Yeah, exactly.
and become something else.
Within my music, and so within the music that's playing or whatever. And now that I'm getting older, I'm trying to find more ways to like make it more raw for myself, and that it is still like that feeling. But at the same time, at least at the time, it was easy for me to become a character. And when I had to sing, it was like
you were you. You were here. I am.
This is just me, and I'm standing here, and it's just my voice. Like it's just a different feeling.
I love it. So I have another question. I know I'm asking you all these questions because honestly, Tatyana and I have not talked like this in so long. And I've seen her on Facebook. I've seen you doing some great, incredible things, and I want to talk about one last incredible thing.
Yeah.
You and your family moved to Costa Rica.
Yes, we did.
That's so boss, man. That's so boss. Like that's good. So how has the Costa Rican culture influenced your music on the singing, playing side of things and the dancing side of things? How has broadening your eyes and your mind to the world globally, how has that changed how you see this gift of music?
Well, I guess if we start with singing, we'll just split it up. With singing, I would say it's still just a sense of pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Like, if I can move to another country, I can definitely make a video. Or, you know, even something as simple as going to karaoke night. Sometimes that's kind of like the same idea, where it's like, that's like, it's just a big jump. So it's like, there's no limits to what I'm comfortable with. And so once I did that, I'm like, oh, like, I can do it. I can do whatever, you know. So that's like a general answer. But then also Costa Rica itself, I don't know. It kind of just like honestly, just the experience being there kind of made me be simplify my life. That's what I'm trying to say. And so once I like could sit down with myself and like really think about where I was, it allowed me to simplify a lot of areas in my life and appreciate myself a bit more. And so a love and appreciation for myself became a love and appreciation for what I can do. So
do you sing in the other language yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Good, it's coming. Which would be beautiful. So what about dancing to the other cultural music?
Oh my gosh, I love it. Like I'm taking a Latin ballroom class soon because I was like, I just need it. I love listening to songs in Spanish, and music in Spanish, sure. But it's just, I don't know, I connect with it a lot, and now that I can understand it a little better too, it kind of helps me connect to it a bit more. But there's just something so beautiful about it, like just the way that they like it's a lot of partner dancing and everything too. So just moving together and everything is just another style of dancing that I never really tried. So,
it's a very romantic. Costa Rican culture is it's a Latin culture, and it's a lot like my Puerto Rican heritage and my culture. And it's a very romantic culture. It's a very loving culture, a very affectionate culture. And so I would imagine that
so supportive and there for each other, and like families stay close together. So there's just so much. I don't know, just so much love and contentness with life and with family and everything.
That's right. And it's reflected through music. Now, my culture is also very musically sort of driven. Like, it's just a big thing to have music as a part of your life in my culture, which is the Puerto Rican culture, is a big deal. And so I'm sure it's the same thing in Costa Rica, which is just awesome. I'm so excited about your life. I'm so excited about your life. And I'm so grateful that we found some time today to sit down.